Hi guys, I'm Bree Mills, and my topic is over moderate intellectual disability. So before we jump into learning what is moderate intellectual disability, let's talk about intellectual disability first. So generally, intellectual disability affects 2 to 3% of our population, and about 10% of our individuals with intellectual disability falls into moderate. So in intellectual disability, there are 3 different categories: mild, moderate, and severe. So now let's learn about what is moderate intellectual disability. So moderate intellectual disability is a condition characterized by significant limitations in intellectual functionings and adaptive behaviors. So the IDEA definition is intellectual disability means significantly sub-average general intellectual functionings, assisting concurrently with deficiencies in adaptive behaviors and manifesting during the developmental period that adversely affects a child's education performance. The term intellectual disability was formerly termed as mental retardation. So let's learn more about this information. So it is uncommon. Mostly males get it rather than females. The causes is in genetics, such as Down syndrome, and in infections. There is no cure, but there are some treatments such as educational support, family education, and behavioral support. The characteristics. So the first one is the IQ. The IQ range is between 35 to 49. So this is the average mental age of a 6 to 9-year-old. The developmental delays. So this is a noticeable developmental delays in their speech and motor skills. And then mobility of the benchmark. The physical signs of impairment, such as having a thick tongue. The communication can be basic and simple. They cannot communicate on complex levels. Self-care activities. Self-care activities they can travel alone in familiar places. They can take care of themselves. And they also require probably some moderate support. And they generally are unable to live on their own. And then memory difficulties. They have difficulties, especially with retaining and recalling information. And then there are challenges in learning and applying new information. For accommodations for present, so presenting new information in a range of formats such as handouts, worksheets, overheads, videos. So when you are presenting on the overhead, you can hand them a worksheet to follow along and go along with your lesson. The pace is modifying the pace of instructions, incorporating hands-on activities throughout your lesson. And then for assessment is implementing a range of assessment plan methods, such as doing an oral presentation, and then instead of doing a multiple choice test, have them do a short answer. More accommodations is having flexible seating. This is where the students can choose where to sit, where they can best learn. So by having a flexible seating could be some bean bags, a stool. Some students like to sit on the floor. So by incorporating flexible seating. The Scribe app. The Scribe app is where you can record your on-screen activities and actions and convert them into details step-by-step guide for those individuals. So a lot of disability students use the Scribe app. And then movement breaks is just like having a brain break. So when you are done teaching one lesson and you are moving into the next one, you can have the students get up and walk around the classroom or play a little music video. And then here's my first accommodation video. In this video, I'll be talking about 2 different accommodations. The first one is to provide different layouts in teaching. As a teacher, you should present information in a range of formats, such as handouts, worksheets, overheads, videos, and etc. For example, if I was teaching a lesson on the overhead board, I will provide my students with a handout to follow along with me by even putting notes in it. By accommodating my lesson, this will give the students the freedom to choose how they want to learn. They would be more engaged and motivated in their education. The second accommodation is giving my students a choice to read by themselves or with audiobook. This scenario is I'm giving my students an assigned reading by reading chapter 1 from their textbook during class time. I would accommodate this assignment by allowing students to choose from listening to the assigned chapter 1 on audio or read by themselves. By giving the students a choice on what they prefer, will help the students be more engaged in the content I'm teaching. The benefits of auditory audiobooks can help the students increase comprehension and help build with the gap between decoding words and assigning meaning. So this is my second accommodation video. In this video, I'll be talking about two different accommodations. The first one is to provide flexible seating. Flexible seating can consist of a beanbag, chair, rockers, ball chair, exercise ball, the floor, stools, and etc. The students can adjust their height of the chair if needed. By accommodating flexible seating in the classroom will allow students to improve students' physical health to help the students move around by rocking or bounce on their chair and be comfortable while learning. This second accommodation is giving the students a range of assessment strategies. For students with moderate intellectual disabilities, I would allow for extensions, use technology to record students' work such as video, give students extra time, shorten my written instructions, have short answers rather than multiple choice. And then by providing a range of assessment strategies will help students achieve successfully and have the opportunity to demonstrate their own knowledge and skills. So this is my handout that I made / year study guide. So talks about what moderate intellectual disability is. So we talked a lot about it already, such as what it is, the combinations, and the characteristics. So for the classroom inclusive, so you can consider seating and room layout, such as doing like the flexible seating that we talked about, giving them the choice to sit where they want to learn, like sit where they can learn the best. Create a quiet space such as a calm corner. This will be for them to go to if they want to just even listen to an audio or just need time to just sit there and quiet. And then remove visual clutter and distractions. And then incorporate break times such as, like I talked about, is walking around the classroom or even doing a little like 2 to 3 minute dance video to just move on and transition into the next unit. And then at the bottom, it just has my references. So these are additional resources that we are going to talk about. So for the first source, this is just considering adjustments to activities in the classroom. So like the task to engage students, give students a lot of time, have a consistent routine, giving them a lot of like opportunity to work with students. So this just talks about what we could do for our lessons. And then the other one is talks about the intellectual disabilities and then teaching strategies such as provide reading lists. And then also use as many verbal descriptions and then use clear and concise, straightforward language when talking to individuals that have moderate intellectual disabilities. And then it also talked about the assessments, such as it talks about instead of like they find it difficult to read multiple choice questions in a way, so giving them like a short answer. So it just helps you learn how to accommodate your lesson for those individuals. And then here's more of my references that I use throughout this PowerPoint. And then thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys learned a lot about moderate intellectual disabilities.